Here, we want to give a big shout out to our sponsors. First up, we have Castro's Pool Service and Repair. If you guys need your guys' pool serviced, maintenance, clean, fixed, Castro's Pool Service and Repair is the place to go. Their phone number is 209-675-5418. That's 209-675-5418. Check them out today, guys. Support those that support us.
It's birthday!
I'm Jesse.
I'm Raquel.
This is The Hassle of Hair, a podcast
Going after your dreams.
about going after your dreams.
Okay.
But no, it's a podcast about going after your dreams and finding your passion in life.
Yes.
And we're The Hassle of Hair.
For the hustle hair.
We are The Hassle of Hair. Thanks for listening, guys. Love you. Today I have on this episode a dear friend of mine who has
So dumb. Stop.
who has really changed me, who has pushed me to better myself in ways that she doesn't even know that she's pushed me to. And someone that's very strong, deals with a lot from me, and takes care of her daughter like one of the best moms in the world. And I don't know, there's a lot of things that people don't know about you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it'd be good to talk about. And yeah, today we have on The Hassle of Hair, we have Raquel Ramirez Diaz. After 10 years, she still hasn't changed the name.
No, I have not.
So, Raquel, where did you grow up?
Why are you talking
where were you
like,
born?
Can you just talk normal to me?
I'm interviewing you.
No,
So,
just have a conversation. Just
babe,
talk
where were you
normal.
born?
I was born in San Jose, California at Alexian Brothers Hospital.
Alexian Brothers Hospital?
Yeah, it's not Alexian Brothers anymore. It's called something else. Regional Medical, I think.
And did you grow up there your whole entire life?
I think up until I was like 14.
14?
Yeah.
And where'd you move?
Here to Los Baños.
To Los Baños, California.
Yeah.
And then you moved back when you were...
I'm going to say when I was 21.
Yeah.
Almost 22. So I was still on 21.
Okay. And what were your parents like?
Next question.
What
Pass.
No,
Pass.
you can't pass.
I can.
Yeah. No, you can't.
Yes.
You can. What did your parents do for their career?
I don't think they had a career. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't. Like, my mom and dad always had, like, different jobs.
Different jobs.
Yeah.
But then, like, that was your stepdad and your...
Yeah.
I mean, you consider him your
Yeah,
dad.
because he's raised me.
And then you were born from...
From what?
Like, what did your...
So my mom and my biological dad met in, I think, Castroville.
Yeah.
My mom had family out there. My biological dad, he was born out there, I believe, born and raised. And I think my mom's cousins were friends with him, but this is gonna sound super bad. My mom was like 25 and my dad was 19. They're like, oh, okay. Like my mom was 25 or 26 and my dad was 19.
Yeah.
And he was 19 and then turned 20. So it wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like it was like within months that he turned 20. Yeah. Still sounds bad though. I don't know why.
And so did they get married?
No.
And then so they were separated.
I think they just fooled around. My mom got pregnant. And then when he found out that my mom was pregnant, it was either, from what he told me that I can remember, it was either he had a job lined up to be a welder or like a water welder or something like that. Like what do they call it? Like
a diver?
No.
A welder diver?
It was like an internship.
I'm asking the questions.
But I'm saying it was like an internship or something to learn that, and it was either do that or go to the Marines and like get money right away.
Yeah.
And he chose to go to the Marines
because he had a kid.
Because he was having a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so your mom was a single mom. You were raised with a single parent.
Yeah.
And how old were you until you?
But I have an older sister too, so my
Yeah.
mom already had. Let me see. She's 6 years older than me. She was 6,
Yeah.
so 5 turning 6 or whatever you want to call it.
And when? I got a good question. When did you realize like your parents weren't together? Do you remember?
To be honest, I thought that my stepdad was my dad,
Yeah.
like my biological dad. I didn't think that he was like my stepdad. I never say my stepdad. I always say my dad.
Yeah.
And then I had to go visit, and I think it was during, I think like winter time, maybe like Christmas or so. And all I remember is going over to like these people's house and not even knowing who they are and like crying and stuff because like I don't know them. It was my
Yeah.
biological dad's like parents. Like I didn't know them. You know what I mean? Like I just knew this guy that was taking care of me was my dad. I didn't think like
That you had family from him.
Yeah.
Yeah. How old were you?
I don't know. I was just small. I don't know.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, I would probably say maybe 5 or 6, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit older. Yeah.
And like, no, can't look at the phone. Oh,
It's
it's
my
Eva.
child.
Oh, it's Eva. Eva is more than a phone. It's a long text, guys. She's reading it. It's a novel. Our daughter has written a novel to my wife, and now
It's about after school activities.
Okay,
Okay, go on.
after school activities. Okay, so you find out like you're like, oh man, my biological dad, your
Yeah.
dad has family,
Mm-hmm.
and like your daughter is going through the same thing. And how did that affect you, like trauma wise? Like, does it affect you still?
I don't have a really good relationship with my biological dad.
Yeah.
With my stepdad, the guy who's raised me, it's more of a father-daughter relationship.
Yeah.
So.
But like, yeah, that's the. Like, so does it affect you still? Like, does it affect you that, because I'm asking because I want to know what our daughter feels, right? Because like that, she's in the
Basically the same way, yeah.
same way. Like, and I see her. I'm not done with my question yet.
I'm going. I'm waiting for you to finish. It's not my fault. You're not a very good interviewer.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Does it affect you? Like, did it affect you when you were a teenager, and did it affect you in your relationships when you became older with someone with having attachment issues?
Okay, which question first, dude?
Okay,
you
so
just asked like 5 different questions.
Did you have attachment issues? If you did you have them when you're telling me about when you were a teenager, and then tell me about when you're older?
Attachment issues? No. I don't think I had attachment issues. Like I said, like I didn't really know this guy that was my biological father.
Yeah.
And my stepdad, the guy who's raised me, well, I'm going to say my dad, he was there. Like my mom and my dad were there, but not there growing up. If that makes any sense. I don't want to get into any more than what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They were there, but not there. But attachment issues, I don't think I have attachment issues.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really grow up with my biological father. I feel like if maybe my mom and my dad were together and then left, I think maybe I would have attachment issues, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think I do.
And in what ways do you think it did like affect you?
I think it does now. Like when things get thrown in my face from my biological father, I think those things are not really affect me. It just annoys me. If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
No, I'm there. But do you think it annoys you, or do you think like it really does hurt you?
I don't think it hurts me. I think it just annoys me.
Yeah.
Because how do you have feelings for somebody who hasn't really been there?
Yeah.
Like I said, like I think if my mom and my dad were together and then separated, probably I would have more emotional and like things or be scarred or whatever you want to call it. but I didn't really know him, and I still don't feel like I really know him.
No. So being your husband
Mm-hmm.
and seeing you,
Yeah.
like, do you feel yourself? Do you think you push people away because of that?
No. I push people away for other reasons.
Yeah. What are those other reasons?
Relationship issues.
Okay, so that's another layer, right? That's another layer that I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's happened in your life. But that was the first step. That was the first thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That like someone had like you come from a broken family.
I don't connect those two together though. Like
Yeah.
coming from somewhere broken and going somewhere and it's not working out. Like I don't connect.
But no,
it
I'm not saying, I'm not even talking about that. I'm
Okay.
saying like your first thing in your childhood was a broken family, right? Like you found out later that your dad and your mom weren't together,
Mm-hmm.
and then you come from a stepdad and a mom.
Mm-hmm.
So that was your first thing. Like that's your introduction to the world. That hurts me.
Why? I don't see it as it being a big factor like how you're saying it is, like coming from a broken place. As a child, I don't think I said, "Oh my God, I'm from a broken family," and I still don't think of it like that.
But I come from.
You came from a place where both of your parents were there.
Yeah. And
I
you
had your mom and your dad.
And so I dealt with two different things, right?
Yeah.
So up until I was 15, I had two parents.
Hold on, this isn't about you right now. This is about me.
But no, I'm saying like I had.
I'm asking the questions here.
But I had two parents till I was 15.
Yeah.
And then I had one parent, and I
Yeah.
seen the difference,
Mm-hmm.
and it's.
But I can
s-
see that the way you're saying it is because you lost a parent, and so your relationship with your dad and your mom are different. Like I didn't like one of my parents didn't pass away. Like I have more than enough parents for people that don't have parents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I don't think I'm scarred in any of the ways that you are. Like my scarring is like different, and it's not being a broken family. It's from other stuff.
So okay, so we've gone past your beginning, that you're introduced into two separate parents that were living in the same home.
Mm-hmm.
Blood. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Blood. Okay. So now tell me about your childhood with your mom and your stepdad.
Well, we were always moving around a lot.
Yeah.
Like a lot. Like we were moving from the east side to Milpitas. Like we were constantly moving, going to different schools. Like more than schools than normal people should be going to. Like you would think they were in the service. No, they were not in the service.
Well, what's the number? Like how many?
Oh fuck.
If it just at the top of your head, like
I would say like 8, maybe 10
from just in elementary.
from elementary. If I'm counting like living over there, I would be like 8. Say about an 8.
So that was elementary to middle school. You went to 8 different schools.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
So-
I can remember mostly all the places that we lived too. Like and as we got older, it was living in a house and with multiple rooms with families in the rooms.
Yeah.
So say like my mom, like so my stepdad out of the picture now, the guy who's practically been there and raised me,
Yeah.
my mom and her
Wait, no,
kids.
your dad was out of the picture. Your stepdad was in the picture.
Yeah, but I'm saying now as us living in a house where there's multiple people, my stepdad, the one who raised me, not in the picture anymore. Him and my mom are not together.
Okay.
Not together anymore.
Yeah.
Living in a house where there's like, we'll say 4 or 5 rooms, and in each room there's like a family with 2 to 3 kids. It's either like single parents, or like single moms, or people trying to like take care of their kids.
Yeah. And then so you're moving around with your mom and your stepdad, and then your stepdad leaves.
I think he goes to jail.
He went to jail. Your stepdad went to jail.
Yeah.
What do you go to for?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. So he went to jail. So now you're moving around with your mom. Why were you guys moving around so much?
Mm, I don't know. Like, we were young, so I don't really know, like, why. But I can guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it probably wasn't good stuff. Like, probably obviously not paying your rent or, like, getting evicted or stuff like that.
Yeah. So it wasn't stable.
Yeah, it was not stable at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
And then, like, tell me about this. Like, so you're moving around from school to school.
Mm-hmm.
And did you ever make friends?
I felt like I would make friends and then obviously not be there long enough to even, like, know them.
Yeah. And so did you ever have a best friend?
I think when I moved to Los Baños is when I had, like, friends that I was close with, but I don't really talk to too many people.
Well, just, like, so I'm talking about, like, before
I left San Jose?
Yeah, before you left San Jose, did you have any childhood friends? Because growing up, I had childhood friends where I could call to this day and, like...
No.
No?
Mm-mm. Nope. Didn't have that.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And then, so tell me, like, you've told me before, like, you were living in sometimes in motels.
Yeah, we lived, like, this was my mom and my stepdad were still together. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they lost the place, obviously, probably something. But there's this hotel off of, I think, Monterey Road or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's called Monterey Road. And there was, like, a lot of people living there, like, people with families and stuff like that. But it was my mom and my dad in one, so it had 2 beds. And they were obviously in one bed. And then me and my siblings, like 4 of us, we were in another bed. And, like, we would play outside. There would be, like, mattresses that were, like, you know, from that they'd taken out from rooms, and we would play on those, jump on them, or, like, I don't even know how long we were there for, to be honest. Like, it could have been, like, 2 months. It could have been, like, 6 months. Like, I don't remember how long we were there for. But it was, like, little things like that I remember.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And did...
No, mm-hmm. And I'm like, damn, we were those ghetto kids.
And, like, so, like, thinking back to my childhood, like, we'd go out to dinner. Like, what was your weekend like? As a kid, what was your weekend like?
I know, so, like, this is the thing. I know we would...
Before you moved to Los Baños.
Yeah, so I know we would always go to parties at Flickinger Park for people.
Yeah.
And I remember because, like, I don't know why. They probably weren't that big, but I was just, like, probably a small kid. But they had, like, swings that, like, were hella tall. And I don't even think they're there anymore, to be honest. And so, like, I remember the swings. I remember, like, people always having parties there. So I think, like, the parties on the weekends there. But other than that, like, I don't really remember us doing things. Like, it was rare, like, we got McDonald's or something. And it wasn't even, like, we couldn't get chicken nuggets. It was, like, you had to get the burgers when they were doing, like, 33-cent burgers or whatever the fuck it was. You know what I mean? Or there was also a burger place downtown where, like, I think you remember we talked about it before.
Burger bar?
Burger bar in that place.
Burger bar.
Yeah, whatever the fuck that's called.
Yeah.
And I was always thinking, like, oh, like, why? I don't want to eat this. It has onions in it. Or, like, I don't even know if it was onions, though. Like, it could have been, like, pickles or, like, something. You know what I mean? Like, and I always remember, like, being greasy-ass burgers. Like, when you take the wax paper off, if it was wax paper, I think they wrapped it in. And I'd be like, oh, my God, like, I wouldn't want to eat that. Like, who the fuck wants to eat that? Like, give me McDonald's. You know what I mean? Like, I want McDonald's. But it was, like, we never got to get, like, if we got McDonald's, it was, like, we only got hamburgers. Like, we had to share fries. Like, we rarely got any Happy Meals and, like, stuff like that.
And so, like, so my childhood, and I'm not trying, I'm saying,
it's
like,
not about you. This isn't your interview.
I'm saying, like we'd go to Spaghetti Factory. Like, I remember that vividly. Like, we'd go to Spaghetti Factory and then Red Robin was a big one.
I think the first time I had Spaghetti Factory was with Probably Eva's dad, like,
But-
and their family,
But that's what I'm saying.
and that's like high school. Like I was in like in my teens.
So don't go there yet, right? We're not
Okay.
there yet. So like, so did you guys have anything special growing up? Like, we would go, like, no. And I'm not trying to put you down. What's wrong? What?
Nothing.
Are you crying? Are you crying? I don't know if you're crying or are you laughing.
We were poor.
Yeah. What?
Don't touch me.
And you can make me cry.
Why? Because I was poor and you weren't, and you got to go to Spaghetti Factory.
It wasn't. It's not that. Is I see you deal with a lot. I see that you deal with a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and man, you know, and the more, a lot of this has to do with like me being around.
That's not fair that the camera's like right on me and you're crying too.
But no, seriously, like it has to do with like me being around EJ's podcast and listening to these people talk about their lives.
Yeah.
And the stories you tell me, it's exactly like theirs. And I listen to theirs and I'm like, holy fuck, dude. Right? And then you tell me these things, and the one thing that gets me is like you never went into addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it mind boggles me because I married a very, very strong woman.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so we're
Thanks a lot, dude.
so we're at your childhood, right? Like
Okay.
where you guys never really had anything.
Yeah.
So you were born into no with separation of parents. And then the surroundings in your childhood when you went off with your mom and your stepdad went to jail, like, weren't that good.
No.
Right? And were drugs and alcohol, were they involved? And
Probably.
did you see any of that stuff?
No.
And like, and I'd rather you say no comment.
I am gonna say no comment.
Yeah, because I don't want you saying no. Like, I mean, you can say whatever the fuck you want. I gotta respect that. That's my fault. You can say whatever the fuck you want, but well, like,
I know there's things you want me to say.
no,
but-
there's not things I want you to say.
Okay.
You can say whatever you want, right? But like, what are some things that you remember from that time period of your life where it's like that wasn't right, or you look at Eva and you don't ever want her to go through?
I moving around a lot was, I think, really tough, like growing up, because like you're always the new kid. You always have to make friends. You go to a school where people already been friends for how long, you know, like trying to fit in. And like we never really had like the best things, like the best clothes. A lot of our stuff was like probably hand-me-downs, like the way my mom is now, the way my parents are now, they weren't like that before.
Yeah.
Like, let me just say, my mom has chicken nugget money now for the grandkids. Like, she didn't have chicken nugget money for us.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she's a different person. Like, I was probably 6 or 7. Yeah. Let me see. My sister was probably a freshman. She was probably, 14? 8? So I was around 7 or 8 probably. And I was walking to school by myself, like with my siblings. You know, and to me, I thought, man, this is a fucking far walk. Like, this is a long walk. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, man, this is a long walk. Like, to have to walk to school with your siblings, like, in the morning, like, and then come home sometimes and, like, nobody would be there. Like, you would have to sit outside in the front, or, I wasn't no fucking lock key kid or anything like that.
You were a locked out kid.
I was locked out kid. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
was locked out. I remember walking home one time and nobody was there, and I was sitting there crying because I'm like, how am I going to get in? Like, I'm a child. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how am I going to get in? And then, like, there was a boy that would always bully me at school. And, like, I think him and his mom were either walking by or something. And, like, I think she felt bad. And so she was like, I don't remember how I ended up at their house. What? So they ended up stop. You're going to make me cry.
You're going to make me cry.
So I think I ended up going back to their house. And then I think she ended up taking me to the school. And then my mom got there. She was upset. She was like, I was there the whole time. But for me, it felt like I was sitting outside forever. You know?
Yeah.
I don't want to do this episode anymore.
and I know you laugh, but I honestly, a lot of this makes you a good mom.
Well, yeah. I always told myself, man, I'm never going to be like my mom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I have one kid. My mom has 5 kids.
Yeah.
Like, I know what I can take care of. You know what I mean? Like, and I barely could do that sometimes. Like, dealing with a teenager is tough, especially her.
Yeah.
We need 5 minutes. I need 5 minutes. No, but like, you know what I mean? Like being locked out of the house and then her going to the school and like, oh, I was home the whole time kind of thing. I was like, how are you home the whole time? But like, you're barely getting to the school right now. Like, back then they didn't have fucking cell phones. I mean, they did, but they were like the big old huge ones. Like, and I doubt that she had money for a cell phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah.
And I'm trying to avoid it, but like look at what's on the table, right? When we reflect back on.
Well, I got coffee and
I'm
lemonade.
Saying, that was what? 10 years old? 8?
I was about to say I'm 26. I'm 36 right now.
That was 8 years old?
Yeah, I'm gonna say we're like 7 or 8 because, like I said, my sister must have been a freshman in high school where we lived across the street, and she's 6 years older than me. So she was like 14. I was what, like 8?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like 8,
so
7 or 8.
This is 8 years old.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to prove anything. But I'm just laying out what's in front of you.
Okay, go.
All right. You were born. Parents are separated. No.
Yeah.
Parents are separated.
Mm-hmm.
You go with your mom. Your mom gets with another man. That man goes to jail. He's gone.
Yeah.
Boom. And then you're telling me.
And I think at the time when I walked to that house, I don't know if my mom and my stepdad were still together. I think they were still together at that time.
Yeah.
But they were probably together maybe a year or 2 living at that house. And then he was gone. And then my mom got a boyfriend. So it's now the boyfriend living there too.
Yeah.
So my stepdad's gone. I think he's in jail or prison or somewhere.
Yeah.
And then she has a boyfriend.
Yeah.
So.
I didn't know your mom. You lived with other men.
Yeah. Yeah. Other men.
How was that?
Well, after we got, I think.
Because my dad got with another woman. I was like, fuck you. I'm gone.
Like, you were like 15, 16.
Yeah.
I was still small.
Yeah.
So it's like, where am I going to go?
Yeah.
And then after that, we moved somewhere else. And we stayed with her boyfriend at the time and his family. And my mom and him had a room. And me and my siblings like slept in the living room on the floor. Yeah. I don't know if we had like a blow up mattress or like something, but we slept in the living room on the floor.
Yeah. And did you ever think like, because that girl upstairs that we have upstairs right now, that girl was like, I want a pool. Like, you know what I mean? Nothing's good enough for her. You know, I'm too hard on her.
Yeah.
We both talk shit to each other, and we kind of talk shit too much to each other. Like
she's way too comfortable sometimes.
Yeah. But
the thing is, like, I think the way she is is because of us. Like the way you joke with her, she jokes back with you, and it's like none of you get mad about it. You both just laugh.
Yeah.
Like there's no hard feelings. Like you guys know that you guys are joking.
Yeah. But she's grateful for things, but she does like, man, I wish I had a pool. I wish I, like, there's certain
I'm like,
things.
dude, I didn't even have my own room. I still don't even have my own room. I'm like, I have to share it with you now.
But, but I'm looking. We can make that like I could have that.
Get the other spare room. I want the big room to myself.
We could. No. God, you got me sidetracked. So I'm thinking of little 8-year-old Raquel laying in bed in that.
I didn't have a bed.
The blow up bed. What would you say?
No, I don't know if I don't remember.
Okay, on the fucking floor.
Just say the fucking floor, because most likely it probably was the floor.
So little 8-year-old Raquel, you know, laying on the floor, looking up at the ceiling. Right before, like, did anybody tell you good night, baby?
Probably not.
Like, tell you sweet dreams?
No. No.
I'm sorry, babe. And okay, so that's not. That wasn't a question. That's just talking.
Yeah, that's
okay.
you just being like.
Okay, so when you look up, did you ever think like, man, I don't want this, or like, I wish I had better? Because there had to been kids at school that had it way better.
Oh yeah, for sure. There was kids at school that had it way better than me.
What were your thoughts? Like, what were you thinking?
I don't know. Okay, so hold on. So after that, I'm trying to think if that's still the time. Okay, so after that, my mom finds out that her boyfriend that we're living with is messing around with her best friend.
Yeah.
So all I remember, it's the middle of the night, and
you're 8, 9.
I'm like probably 8 or 9, yeah, maybe 10. Yeah. I could probably be 10 too. And all I remember is my mom's brother picking us up in his, I don't even know what kind of car it was. It was like one of those, I want to say Lincoln, but it probably is not a Lincoln. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Him and my aunt picking us up. It's like in the middle of the night. It's raining. We're all in the car. And I don't really know much is going on, you know? Like, it's kind of like, okay, like, why are we leaving late? Kind of thing. Like, all of our stuff is there or whatever. And then I think we end up moving in. I'm trying to think. I think one of the houses up in the hills, maybe. And then we lived there. That's where, like, it was like 5 rooms, and there was like other families and stuff like that. And I think at that point, it's just me, my mom, and my youngest sister, who's like maybe 3 years younger than me, 3 or 4 years younger than me. And then I think my 2 younger siblings moved away with my grandma. And when we're living there, my mom gets hit by a car. She's getting ready to go out with her friends, and the girl that was her best friend, the one that was messing with her man, her uncle hits my mom with the car. So we're up in the hills living there.
And is this what you remember, or is this what
no,
people told you?
This is what I remember.
Yeah.
So we're up in the hills, and
you literally saw your mom get hit by a car?
I didn't see her get hit by the car, but I opened the door, and there was like a little house or something in the front, and the guy that was living there came and knocked on the door, and somebody was ringing the bell, but like, so I was probably like the oldest one in the house, I'm gonna say, like oldest kid or whatever, and the guy came and knocked on the door, and I opened it, and he was like, oh, can you tell, I don't want to say my uncle's name, can you tell so-and-so sorry about his niece? And I was like, what do you mean his niece? Like, you know, like, what are you talking about?
You answered?
I answered the door, yeah. And he was like, oh, can you tell him sorry for his niece? And I was like, his niece? Is like, yeah, the one that lives here. And I was like, what happened? He's like, oh, she got hit by a car. So, like, it was me and my sister living there. Like, no one told us that my mom got hit by a car that night. Like, no one said anything. I think one of my mom's sisters came and then, like, took us to the hospital where she was at, because she had like,
so you didn't see her at all?
I didn't see her until the hospital, but she had like a broken pelvis and stuff, so she was in the hospital, and me and my sister were basically by ourselves. So
in my head, like, I thought like she was in the front of the house.
No, so the ambulance came, like, so it's late at night, she's ready to go out, we're asleep, and the guy hits her with the car.
And not in front of the house.
In front of the house.
In front of the house.
Yeah. Hits her with the car. She gets a broken pelvis. She's in the hospital. Like, we don't know till the next morning that she gets hit by the car. So I'm like, like, what the hell's going on?
Where's your mom?
Yeah. And then I don't know, like, we were out of school for, like, I know it was around Christmas time because it was supposed to be around, like, winter break. And then around that time there was flooding too. So I know it was like around sometime around then, like, where it rained a lot and stuff.
Yeah.
So my mom's younger sister takes us to the hospital and then takes us back to the house. And me and my sister are basically there to fend for ourselves until she gets home. I don't remember exactly how long it was until she got home, though. But we didn't go to school. I know that. Because I know eventually, like, people from the county or the school came to the house.
Yeah. And do you remember them coming to the house and, like, how many times did someone part of the system come to your house?
I would say maybe twice. Once at that house, because then once we moved from that house, we moved up to another house up in the hills. Yeah. And that's where, like, more family was, like, you know, like, family to a room or whatever. And I think, I honestly, I'm going to say we probably missed, like, a month of school. Yeah. Like, we were out for, like, a month.
And that's when somebody came?
So, somebody came first time when my mom got hit. Then when we moved to the house up in the other hill, like a house like a couple blocks away, another people from the school district or the county or whoever came to the house then. Yeah. And then that's all I can remember from the time people came to check on us.
So, did anybody, and we're still on your childhood.
That's a lot of childhood.
I know. But did anybody, like, you know me, I see a kid in struggle and I'm like, do you need help? Like, I'll help you. Like, what do you need? Like, you know? Did anybody do that? Did anybody try to take you under your wing and know that your family was dysfunctional? No. Nobody? Because you were moving around so much.
Yeah, we were moving around a lot. Like, a lot.
Do you remember any good influences in your life?
No.
No teachers?
Like, I don't think we were there long enough at school to even get to know people, like I said. Yeah.
And so up until that point, it was basically, would you agree, it was chaos? Yeah. Okay. So you lived in chaos, and when was it that it was like how long did it take for you to say, okay, I need to go somewhere else? Do you remember tides change? Like, did anything change, or was like it got really bad?
I ended up. So after that house up in the hills, after my mom got hit, we moved to the other house up in the hill. After that place, kind of everybody got kicked out. I don't remember. I think the power might have been off, like the water might have been off, like, so people had to leave. Obviously, you can't stay there if there's no power or like running water, electricity, and stuff like that. Yeah. So we ended up moving to my mom's house out in Blossom Hill Road or somewhere. And there, I think they had like a 3-bedroom or something. So my mom's parents had a room. And then my mom's youngest sister had a room with her boyfriend, and I think she was pregnant at the time. Yeah. And then my mom had another room, but in there, like, there wasn't enough space for all of us. We literally slept in a line on the floor. Really? Like, there was no bed. Like, we all slept there.
Did you see any struggle from the adults in your house? Like, did you see any? Like, Eva's seen me struggle, like, with things. Uh-huh. Did you see any struggle from the adults in your surround at that time? Like, was it known, like, hey man, we got to get out of this? Like, was there anybody pushing to get out of that situation?
No. Yeah. I don't think so. No. So once we moved there, then one of my mom's sisters lived out here in Los Baños, and it was like, oh, do you want to spend the summer out here? Yeah. I was like, yeah, sure, why not? You know, like, I'm not doing anything.
Was that did anybody before that? Did anybody ask you to come stay? No. That was the first time ever.
Yeah, that anybody said. I mean, so I would spend like the summers that I can remember with my Nino and Nina.
Yeah.
But it was like maybe like a week here and then go back home and then like come back. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it wasn't even long. It was like a couple days or like whatever. Yeah. But so then I moved out here, and then after that it was kind of like I just kind of stayed. I never went back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never went back.
But like, was there a conversation? Was there?
No, I kind of just told my mom like, "Oh, I'm just staying. I'm gonna stay. I'm not coming back." And it wasn't like, "No, you have to come back." And she didn't put up a fight or anything.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what was it? What was it in you that knew you had to leave? Like,
I don't think I thought I had to leave. Like, I didn't mind being with my siblings. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of took care of them. Like, cooked for them. Like, did things for them. Like, I was using the stove, like, at 7 or 8 years old. Like,
yeah.
Or using the microwave. Like, I didn't know how to use a stove. I didn't know how to hold a pan. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So on the pan, there's the part where you have the handle, and then there's a metal piece that connects the handle to the pan. And I grabbed it there, and I burnt my hand. And guess what? I've never fucking grabbed it there again. Yeah. You know, like, not knowing how to cook. No one says don't grab that part. Like, you don't know shit is hot or not. You know what I mean? But I was like, I didn't cook. And before that, I was like making eggs in the microwave for my siblings. Like, yeah. You know, it was like something that I taught myself. I didn't see anybody doing it. You know, it's kind of like, let me just crack some eggs, put them in a bowl and put them in the microwave. And like, they fucking cooked. Yeah. You know? But.
And so you decided. Mm-hmm. Like, you decided and.
Well, it's kind of was asked, like, well, do you want to stay?
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Yeah. Was there a conversation?
It wasn't.
Like, was there a sit down?
So it wasn't really a conversation. It was kind of like, oh, so this is the thing. It was kind of like, oh, do you want to spend the summer out here? Yeah. I was like, oh, yeah, sure. Why not? Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay. Yeah. And then it was kind of like, well, do you want to just go to school out here? And I was like, okay.
And so how old are you? You were 12 or 13?
I think at that time now I was like 13. Yeah. No. I would say like 12, 13.
And at that point, were you living with any resentment? Were you living with any trauma? Like, do you, like, so the split up family, mm-hmm. the step parent that had left once you got there, the chaos where you lived one of the things that hurts me the most is like no one ever went in your room and said goodnight, sweet dreams.
I didn't have a room.
But that's what I'm saying. Like to tuck you in, right? Yeah.
What?
That's why. What? Hold on. Okay, hold on. Breakthrough. No, like.
Did you hear something?
No. You've never had anybody tuck you in. You literally love when I tuck you in at night. Do you see the connection there? Do you see the connection?
I'm 36 years old and I still have my husband tuck me in at night.
But do you see the connection there?
I didn't think of it.
That's fucking wild, dude.
Trauma is real.
Yeah, dude. Oh, man. Okay, so we figured that out. Okay. Because, like, to me, I'm like, oh, fuck. Why do you want me to tuck you in? And I
never thought of it.
Me neither.
It was kind of a thing where you're like, okay, we're going to go to bed. I'm like, okay, well, I'll just tell you goodnight and go to bed. I'm like, okay. Yeah. I'm like, well, you going to tuck me in? Like, it's not like, I didn't have that as a child, so can you tuck me in now? Like, thing, you know what I mean? Like,
I know, but to me, I always found it like, I'll be honest, when you would tell me in the beginning, like, this is...
Dude, how long have you been doing that, though?
But
how long has it been, like... But how many years, though, has it been?
A long time.
Like 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, longer than that.
Longer than that?
Yeah, so when we moved into the 3rd Street.
Oh. It's been... So it's been about, like, 8 years then.
And to me, I'm like... it was such a normal thing. But I would be like, I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, why am
Why?
I?
Because you had to go upstairs?
I would no, not because I even like. I would question it, but I didn't
Uh-huh.
really think it was weird.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying it's weird now, but I'm saying like I would just hate that I would have to tuck you in, and then, but I never realized like, dang, that's crazy.
When
But that's a huge thing. Like, you see me get up and I have
Yeah.
to go kiss Eva goodnight.
yeah.
Like I grew up with that. I grew up like that was one thing. Like my dad would tell me goodnight. My dad would tell me sweet dreams goodnight. My mom would tell me goodnight.
Yeah.
Right. She wasn't really the lovey. Like she didn't love as much.
She didn't?
No. My mom was very stern.
Okay.
Not stern, but like it. There were, like the emotion was different. We knew she loved us, but it wasn't like, oh my god, like you know what I mean. So,
Well, I don't. So, you saying that, I don't remember my mom giving us hugs
yeah,
or saying "I love you."
yeah,
Like as much as me and Eva, like me and Eva will hug. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
every night I go to her room, even if she's asleep or not, I'll go in there, sit in her bed, talk to her for like a couple minutes or so, 30 seconds. Tell her I love you, good night, give her a hug, give the dog a hug and kiss, give her a hug and kiss. You know, tell her good night in sign language, I love you in sign language, turn off her light. You know, like every night I do that. Even if she's asleep, I'll go in there, give her a kiss on the forehead or the cheek, cover her, and then like leave.
But that's one thing that's normal for me that you guys do. Like, not a lot of families do that. Like,
What? Say good night?
all of us, like, we constantly tell each other we love each other.
Yeah.
Like, even that little girl up there, sometimes she'll be like, "Ugh, I love you." But, like, we constantly, like, it's
Yeah.
a constant thing. I love you.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it's you know, like as much as we struggle or as much as we go through things, like that's one thing. Like I always say, like I could lose it all, but like because of that, like we're always constantly like, I love you,
Yeah.
I love you, and like you telling me I love you, you giving me a hug, me giving, like we're always constantly loving on each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing. I'm glad we brought that to our family. You know, and so we got through that. That was a tucked in moment. But okay, so you lived up until 13 without stability,
Mm-hmm.
chaos,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you finally get to this place. Like, I'm pretty sure you got your own bed.
Yeah.
Was that a first?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How'd that? Do you remember a feeling? Do you remember that? Like you sleeping, like you calling it your own bed?
Yeah.
You remember what happened? Like, do you remember it, like how it felt? I'm saying.
No, I didn't think of it like, oh, I have my own thing. You know, like I still had to share a room, which wasn't a problem, obviously, because I've always shared a room.
Yeah.
But having my own bed, I think it was like a twin, maybe. Yeah, I think it was a twin. I never really thought like, oh, I finally got my own bed. I don't think I thought that. Like that was so long ago. That was like 20 years ago, practically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 22 years ago, we'll say. So.
And so, like, okay, you have your own room. You're
No, I'm sharing a room.
You're sharing the room, and like, how was going to school with stability? Like, do you remember how that felt?
It felt weird because the school that I went to here in town, it was the first year they opened the junior high, the new junior high, the Los Baños Tiger Junior High.
Yeah.
So
it used to be the high school. They changed it to a junior high or something.
No, the brand new Los Baños Tigers.
Oh, okay.
The junior high.
Yeah.
That, I think at that time a lot of people from San Jose moved to Los Baños, so it was a lot of new kids that were going there as well. So
Yeah.
some of them might have went to elementary school for a year or two together, and then everybody went to the junior high together. But that when the new junior high opened, it was the first year. Like my 7th grade was the first year of the 7th graders. Like, you know what I mean? Like I was the first 7th grade class there.
Yeah.
So and then I made friends like that, but
Did you like? Because you're going into stability, then you're going into puberty, right? Was that a crazy thing? Like, did you start to see what your childhood was like when you're getting older? Like, when did you start to recognize that you were living in chaos?
I don't really think I thought of it like that. I just thought of it like all I'm doing is moving around.
Yeah.
Like literally moving around everywhere.
Yeah.
Like we went to fucking tons of school. We went to Backrot, fucking August Boger, fucking Foothill. Like
Yeah.
there was a lot of fucking schools. I'm like, geez, like not too many fucking people probably did that. Unless you were in the service. Your parents were, and my parents were not in the service. Like, you know what I mean? Like there should have been no reason why we were moving that much.
Yeah.
That I think about it now, I thought growing up, I thought it was kind of normal. I didn't think that was not normal. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I remember my mom obviously was on food stamps, and when the ice cream man came by, like, we paid in food stamps. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, we lived across the street from a high school, and we went swimming. Like, we paid in food stamps. Like, how you paying food stamps to go swimming? Like,
yeah.
You know, this is when they gave them booklets, and they were like 1s, 5s, I think 10s maybe. I don't remember. It was a booklet. I don't even know how much was in that. But all you did was like, oh, you paid with it. Okay, you just took out the food stamps and paid. Like,
that's wild. And so you is Eva still
no,
texting? Oh, okay.
It's just notifications.
And so, with all that said, and this is gonna be a pretty, I guess, heavy question.
Oh God.
Like with all that said, like, what was your perception on? Because it's a big thing, right? It's a big thing growing up, like going through puberty. Mm-hmm. What was your perception on the other sex? Like, did you want a boyfriend? Like, did you?
I think I had, like, I don't think boyfriends were really on my mind. Like, I, as a teenager, developed, like, quickly. Like, I know people are not going to hear this, but, like, I got my period when I was, like, in 4th grade. Yeah. 4th or 5th grade, like, nobody can understand that. Nobody. Yeah. Like, you can't understand what I went through as a child, having a period in, like, elementary school.
No.
You know what I mean? Like they didn't really talk to, like, okay, like, you're gonna get your period, this is how it's gonna be. You know what I mean? Like, no one really tells you that. You know, I always remember I'm always in the fucking nurse's office crying because I have, like, really bad cramps that I think are really bad because I'm a child. You know what I mean? Laying on the nurse's bed, and they're like, oh, well, here's a Midol or here's an Advil. And it's kind of like, okay, you got to go back to recess now. Like, okay. Like, you know?
Yeah.
And then, so I developed earlier. I obviously was wearing a bra in, like, 3rd, 4th grade. Like, come on. You know? I don't really think I thought, like, I want a boyfriend. Yeah. I think I was just more like, I have friends, maybe. Like, you know, people. No. I didn't really think, like, I want a boyfriend. I mean, yeah, I know I had a boyfriend in junior high. Obviously, it wasn't that long. And then I think I didn't really have my first serious boyfriend until I was... Okay, so I had one 8th grade going into freshman year, and then we broke up. And then I got with Eva's dad when I was a sophomore, summer from freshman year going into sophomore year, like that summer. And then got with Eva's dad. Did you have any
best friends or?
Yeah, I had some best friends. I had a few. Like, I don't think I stuck to, like, one friend group. I think I had, like, I talked to everybody.
And so okay, so you're finally living a life.
Uh-huh.
You're finally
having a childhood.
Yeah. And did you ever go visit your your mom? Was it known? Like,
Um,
because in reality, it was the fact that your mom couldn't take care of you.
I think I might have seen her like a few times here and there, like at parties maybe, but growing up, my mom really wasn't around her family.
Yeah.
Like, we would go to parties, but it like holidays or things like that. Like, I don't remember us going as much. Like, I remember us just being home. Like,
Yeah.
I don't remember being around her family as much, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't really recall us always being there.
Yeah.
Mm.
And so you're there. You're when did so we're past that. You're finally stable. You're dealing with your mom, but was it the fact that you met your Eva's dad
That what?
that you kind of like? Did you forget about, like, were you not going to visit your mom because you met Eva's dad, or was it?
No, it's just like I said, like my mom wasn't really there. Like, she didn't really go around her family as much.
Yeah.
So like she would be there like once in a while. Like if there was a party or like, you know, things like that. Like
Yeah.
it'd be once in a while. It wasn't like she was there all the time. Like say a football. Like we would come to San Jose sometimes and watch football at my Nino and Nina's house. And it wasn't like one or two people. It was like a house full of everybody. Like it would be us. Maybe once or twice my mom would come. Maybe. So I'm saying like things like that. Like birthday parties, maybe once in a while she would be there.
Yeah. And what was it like to see your mom and then like know that she's okay? I'm not gonna probably see her. Like, that's your mom.
I didn't really think too much of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think like, oh, I hope I see my mom. Like I didn't really think that.
So was it it was kind of out of your.
I was kind of like I wasn't worried about it, to be honest. Like I don't think I was worried. Like, oh, am I gonna see her? Like I don't think we really talked. Up until I moved over here, we really didn't talk.
Yeah. Yeah, still don't talk.
Yeah, like and even now, like we really don't. Like
Yeah.
we pay for my mom's cell phone, but I can hardly get a hold of her. You know what I mean? Like we really don't talk.
Yeah.
And if I talk to her, I give her a hard time about shit. So it's like.
And so, okay. You met Eva's dad. And tell me about that.
Well, I didn't lose my virginity to him.
Oh, okay. I didn't really. Wasn't talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I met Eva's dad, and then we were together through high school, and then I got pregnant with Eva, and then we were there, and then like, I mean, I thought our relationship was fine, but
So
it probably
you're skipping
wasn't.
over a big part, right?
What's the big part?
Didn't you move in with his family?
Yeah, but I'm saying like.
This is, you moved in after the pregnancy.
So, no, I moved in after high school.
Okay.
So a lot of stuff happened in between that, and I was given, I'm going to say like
Okay.
an ultimatum. It was either stay here where I was at or move to San Jose.
You never really oh, sorry.
So it was stay here and not see him.
Yeah.
Mind you, I was already like 18, probably 18, 19 or so. Stay here, not see him, not date him, or move to San Jose and kind of like be with him. And I chose to move to San Jose. And so I would think I was at my mom's for maybe like a day or two, maybe a couple days.
Yeah.
And then Eva wasn't even here yet. She wasn't even thought of. There was no even thought of Eva.
Yeah.
Eva's grandparents at the time, so Eva's dad and her grandma, grandpa, they came, picked me up, and I don't even know if I had that much stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I had a few things probably, like clothes or whatever I was able to take with me, and I moved in there with them, and I had my own room there, so it wasn't like me and him lived together. I mean, we lived together, but he had his own room, I had my own room, and then sometime I think during the summer, I think during the last month of school, maybe May or June, is when I got pregnant with Eva. But I didn't know that I was pregnant with her.
Yeah.
Until, I'll say July, August, when I took a pregnancy test.
Okay, so
It's a
hold on.
lot. It's a lot.
I know, and I'm going back to the beginning.
Oh God.
So
okay.
first, you didn't say why. Like, why was there an ultimatum? And you really never told me.
I don't really know what why there was an ultimatum. The ultimatum was he was cheating on me, and somehow like my aunt and uncle had found out about it.
Yeah.
And I was like dumb. I was in love. I was like, I want to be with him. You know what I mean? And it was kind of like, well, if you want to be with him, then you can't live here, kind of thing. But if you live here, then you can't see him. So it's like, if you're going to live here, you can't see him. But if you want to see him, you need to leave. So this was all like during like, I would say, like, obviously when I graduated, this is when it happened. Like, graduation, it was kind of like, it was supposed to be a happy time, but it wasn't. It was kind of like, okay, so you graduated now. Are you staying or are you leaving? Yeah. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm leaving.
Okay, so we're there, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're given the ultimatum.
Mm-hmm.
After that ultimatum, what happened? Like, you went to your mom's. Like, this is a place where.
And my mom at that time, she had a place, like a townhouse with Section 8. It was, I think, a four bedroom.
So Section 8 is when the government funds your living.
Yeah, so they pay a portion and you pay the other portion.
Yeah.
But the living is like subsidized. Like the amount that they're offering, like it's a lower amount. Yeah. So she's living there, and I take whatever I'm able to take, basically. Whatever, like my mom's sister says, you could take that. So that's kind of it. Yeah. So it's kind of like, that's all you could take. That's whatever you can take. So I take that, I go, and I think I'm there for like maybe a couple days.
By choice? Like, did you only stay there a couple days because his parents came?
Yeah. So at that time, me and him were already together for like 3 years.
Yeah.
So I'm there for I don't really remember exactly how long I was there. It could be like one day. Like, they dropped me off and then the next day they came. I'm just gonna say it could have been like 1 day or 2 days.
And how was it in those 2 days or 1 day?
I think at that time I was probably upset. Like, this was a really long time ago, so I don't really remember exactly. I think I was probably upset, like I understand why people were upset on me deciding to leave and saying, like, you have this ultimatum, like, you stay here, you can't see him, but if you leave, if you want to see him, then you have to leave, kind of thing. Like, it's kind of like, why not let me learn on my own, kind of thing? Like, why put that ultimatum there? If that makes any sense.
Yeah. But what would you do with Eva?
I didn't know I was pregnant with Eva yet.
No.
I didn't know I was pregnant with Eva.
I'm saying Eva now. What if, because she's at your age. She's at that age.
But that's the thing, like, when I lived there, I wasn't able to feel like I had these conversations like the way me and Eva have conversations. You know what I mean? Like, living there with my mom's sister, like, I felt when I lived with my mom, I felt like I was taking care of my siblings. And then when I moved in with my mom's sister, I felt like I was still taking care of kids that weren't my kids.
Yeah.
So with Eva now, like, me and you don't have kids. Eva's the only kid that's here in this house. So she doesn't have that obligation to take care of her siblings like I did. So what I'm saying is, with Eva, I feel like living there with my mom's sister, I never was able to have that comfortable conversation with stuff.
Yeah.
Like, with me and Eva,
Well, that's not your mom.
I know, but
But
if it's somebody if it's somebody taking on that responsibility or that role as taking care of you as a parent, you know what I mean? Like, if they took on that role to take care of you and act like your parent, your guardian, you should be able to have conversations like that.
Okay, so I'm saying.
If I lived there and you're taking care of me and you're taking on that role and responsibility as a guardian or as a parent, you should be able to have conversations like that.
No, I agree. I 100% agree. But how much was it that the conversations weren't being made? Or how much was it of you still holding on to things and not opening up about things? And because you were already, and I'll go back to the beginning, and I'm going to keep on repeating it. Separation from the get-go. Parents, stepdad leaving. Look at, a parent should never let you go.
No.
Okay, so in my eyes, that's your parents throwing you away.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's the worst. That's the worst. It's the worst, right?
Yeah.
It's the worst because I felt that a little bit.
With your dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
I felt that when my mom passed away.
Your mom passed and your dad got a whole new family?
But like
basically.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel good. Right? It doesn't feel good, and yours is. So you're dealing with all that. That's a lot of separation. That's a lot of not trusting anybody. Right?
Yeah, I have a lot of trust issues. I really do.
And so you get to that point where it's like you're with this other person in the house.
Mm-hmm.
These two other parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
That are not even your parents at all. Stepdad, stepmom.
Yeah.
How much of it, the non-conversation, was it that you were closed off? Were you a closed off teenager? Like not talk to anybody?
No,
about
I felt
your
like
feelings?
I felt like no matter what I did there, I always got yelled at or in trouble for it.
But did you talk to your feelings about to her dad, like the boys that you were with? Like, did you reach out to anybody?
I felt like so this is the thing. I felt like I was constantly getting picked on there.
Yeah.
Like, things were said to me. I felt like I was constantly getting in trouble for it. Like, it didn't matter what I did. I was always in trouble for something.
I hear that. But like, who did you talk to your problems about? To
friends.
To friends.
Like people that I thought that were close.
Do you remember talking to them and telling them like, do you remember bringing up that, hey, my mom, I don't live with my mom?
I never talked about, like, right now talking about this is when people are barely going to hear about this.
Yeah.
Like people knew that I lived with my aunt and my uncle. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
People knew that I lived with my aunt and uncle. And I wasn't like, oh, hey, everybody, I live with my aunt and my uncle kind of thing. It was kind of like, well, if someone asked, like, oh, do you know if your parents will let you go? I'd be like, oh, well, I have to ask my aunt and uncle because I live there.
Yeah.
You know, I never really like, oh, I live, you know what I mean? Like, people knew if I told them.
Yeah. And so, okay, so you end up which is, I think about my age right now. Mm-hmm. I think about what I have. I think about what I'm doing. And when I think about her dad's parents,
okay,
when I think about them, when I think about what they did, fuck, dude, I just want to give them a hug. You know, because because I see you as a teenager. Yeah. I see you dealing with all this and these look at and these two.
I'm a little emotional because I'm probably gonna start my period.
This is a lot. This is a lot. But you don't talk about this.
Yeah, because
I don't want to
fucking talk about it.
I had to turn on a light and a fucking podcast for you to fucking open up to me.
But that's the thing. Like, there's times where we have talked about stuff, and just because I don't tell you everything, like, I want it to be a person like.
You
I want to
it
be a
personal?
person. I want to be a
Why
person.
are we doing a
I
podcast?
don't want it to be personal. Like,
Yeah.
like technically, this wasn't supposed to turn into this.
Yeah,
you were
it's-
just gonna ask me stupid, dumb, fucking questions.
I know, but I didn't think it was gonna lead.
And
into
you want to
this.
know my whole fucking childhood, okay?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know the day my parents like had me or something.
Okay, so
I swam out.
no. So when I think about his parents, right,
Yeah.
that's a huge thing,
Yes.
right? Like they saved you from what could have potentially been a dark road. Yes, you had your struggles. Yes,
Yeah.
there's teenage pregnancy. Yes, there's teenage problems, but they saved you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few moments in your life where people saved you, and it goes for all of us. And I think they were a big. Now I understand.
What?
Like now I understand like the dynamic, right? And
What do you mean?
without saying too much, like I understand. I've never been a part of it. I've never been a part of it. Like your best friend is your baby daddy's sister.
Uh-huh.
You're like one of my close friends was your baby daddy's brother-in-law. Like
Yeah.
and so we do these things and you guys would talk about things. Like you guys would talk about and you were basically they were raising you in a way,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
There was another family raising you.
Yeah.
And like your family,
Yeah.
that's a different dynamic. Like I can't imagine imagine a boy coming in here. Me and you are like, hey dude, like your life is in shambles right now. We'll take you in. I know you're dating
Shambles.
I know you're dating our daughter.
You're the only person that talks like that.
I
Your
know.
life is in shambles. You're poor as fuck.
No, but like, and like this, like, look at it like this way when it's on
Okay.
paper, and we're like, okay, you can live here.
Mm-hmm.
We know you're dating our daughter. Like, it's fine. Just we'll probably make him sleep on the couch. He'll sleep feet to face with me. And he
Put
goes
like a
from
cat bell on him.
he goes from pre-adulthood
Uh-huh.
to adulthood,
Okay.
and then our daughter and him don't work out,
Yeah.
right? They don't work out, and they go their separate ways, and you move out,
Mm-hmm.
or he moves out.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, dude, that's a different kind of dynamic. That's not just a breakup,
Yeah.
right? They lost someone they were raising.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to put it and make it weird and like they
Yeah.
lost a daughter, right? Like,
yeah.
but like you're living there,
Yeah.
right? And that's crazy. Like it just I never got it.
Yeah.
Like it was weird to me. Like we would tell people like we hang out with
Yeah.
her baby daddy's sister and her husband.
Yeah.
Like that. Like it was normal to me once I got used to it. But once you told me and like when it was first brought to my attention, like I was like, this is not fucking. This is fucking weird, right?
And you guys talk all the time too, though.
Yeah.
Like you and what's his name talk all the time.
He's one of my closest friends.
Yeah.
I had. He
And
was
you
the,
fucking go camping with him and his
Yeah.
family, like.
And so you do this, right? So
Mhm.
you move in with them and so what happens?
How long has it been? Because you said this was only going to
I
be
know.
30 minutes. It's been longer than that. It's been like almost an hour already, right?
Yeah. You want it to
So-
be continued or you want to keep going?
Oh, let's just finish it.
Okay.
Because after today, I'm not talking about it anymore.
Okay.
So I know there was before, like, so what came to the ultimatum was he was cheating on me.
Yeah.
And I was dumb. Like, I still want to be with him. So after I come back to Los Baños with him and his family, I guess I'm already pregnant with Eva. I didn't know, like, dealing with graduating high school and getting basically kicked out of your place and then moving, coming back, and like just trying to figure things out. Find out I'm pregnant. Eva's born the following year, so 2000. We graduated 2005. Eva's born 2006 in March, and I'm assuming. I'm just gonna assume because you just know. So me and him were together 3 years in high school. We were together 3 years out of high school. So with those 3 years after high school, living there still, he was still cheating on me, sleeping with my friends. Well, people I thought were my friends. Doing things that you shouldn't probably be doing, like not taking on responsibility, like, having a child that's born deaf. And I'm basically just stuck as a parent doing it myself.
But okay, so
I'm just trying to cut it down.
No, I know. Hold on. She's like, I'm not. You don't have to cut down anything. We can keep going with this.
I don't want to talk about
okay.
it.
I'm sorry, but then I look at his point of view, right?
What's
I put myself in his shoes.
Okay.
Right, and it's pretty wild now to see it like at an older age. From when I first met you. When I first met you, I was like, this. Who the fuck does that? Like, like that's fucking wild. Right? But then I think about it, and I'm older now, and I know a little bit more about life and life of a person that age.
Okay.
Right. 19. He was 19.
I think 18.
Yeah, 18, just out of high school. His parents let a girl live with him. 18.
Yeah.
And let a girl live with him.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I was not ready for that. There's no way I'd be faithful at that age. I'd be cheating like crazy.
Yeah, but if you're already with somebody 3 years and then we were together 3 years in high school.
Yeah.
And then obviously 3 years out of high school. So 6 years,
But of course but as an 18-year-old, of course I'm going to run from that. I might, it's cool. Like, I'm like this girl, I'm living with her, all this stuff. It's cool. But a teenager like that, a teenage boy will always run from that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If Eva had a boy move in with them or if Eva, there's no way in her head, still developing, she's still developing, right? And there's no way that her brain, her body tells her, you need to stay with this person. It's just, it's craziness to think that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that's where the forgiveness comes in. Right?
What do you mean?
Like in that area of your life, like understanding that was never gonna happen.
What do you mean never gonna work?
Yeah.
What was never gonna work? Oh.
That was never supposed to. It was never supposed to work. A teenager living in it was more like they helped you with your life, right?
Yeah.
And it was to ask an 18 or 19-year-old kid to be faithful and to be with this person for the rest of your life, and I'm not talking about after that and the stuff that he did after that and whatever happened after.
Okay.
But I'm saying in that moment, that was never gonna work out.
Okay.
Right? It never was. And it's crazy to think. It's crazy to think I could never, I'm in his shoes right now. I'm thinking in his shoes. What would I do? I can't say I would do different. That's where I have to be like, oh, I don't get that. I think about that 18-year-old kid that was fucking partying it up.
Who
right?
You?
Yeah. Partying it up. But then
I feel like there's a thing. I understand what you're saying.
I do have to take that back because I was 22 when I met you with the kid, and I put my foot down and fucking kept going. So there's some things I can't. But this is the thing.
You saying...
And I'm putting myself in his shoes, babe. Yeah, I'm not fucking...
You putting yourself in his shoes.
I'm not saying he's right.
you putting yourself in his shoes, saying you can expect that to work, but if you want to be with somebody, you wouldn't be cheating on them.
But this is where you need to be as an adult and see that so me being a man, me being knowing what it's like to be a boy, to be an 18-year-old boy, like that, you're not thinking of that. You know what you're thinking about at an 18-year-old boy? Like, you're not thinking about like, I'm gonna.
Oh no, I know what he was thinking about because he was doing it.
But the psychological of because you like at that age when there's a girl in front of you, right? When there's a girl that likes you, you go through these emotions. It's like a drug, right? It's like, oh my God, like
boys are dumb.
Yeah, but
you guys are dumb.
Not dumb and like.
No, you're dumb.
Because at that age we don't know how to deal with another girl.
Your sexual tension.
Yes, the sexual tension, right? Like it's like, oh fuck yeah. It's like it starts to leave it doesn't leave you, it's just you manage it better. But at that age, you make really rash, dumb decisions. Right? You do. And this is where you have to look at it. It's like the psychological shit that was happening in his head. Mm-hmm. There was a girl at his house. His parents let her live there. Mm-hmm. And I could do whatever I want because they let her live there. I have her there. I'm going here, going there. Like it's. I'm not saying what he did was right. Mm-hmm. I understand that the only thing that I understand, not saying he's right, I understand at that age, I could see how someone can make bad decisions like that.
Okay.
Right? Because it's but then it's hard to fight that.
Okay.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Let's fucking move on from that question.
Sorry. But like, because at 22, I stepped up.
Okay. Next.
It's such but the reason why I stay on this so long, right? And I talk about this is because our daughter's 16.
Yes.
She's going to be going through situations where we've went through. Mm-hmm. Right? We guide her.
Yeah.
Like, we have to know when she's in a bad situation. Mm-hmm. Right? And it's just, how, if you were your own parent, right? If Eva was going through the same exact thing you were going through.
Okay.
How would you parent her?
Well, as I was saying before we got onto this long conversation, because we were basically talking about this. Yeah. Me and Eva have a different relationship than I've ever had with anybody. Yeah. That chose to be there or not to be there. And me and Eva talk. I talk to her about things and tell her, regardless of if it's right or wrong or a decision she makes or whatever it is, she can always come to me and talk to me. Like, doesn't matter. If I get mad, I don't get mad. Talk to her, you know? We have that relationship where she does tell me stuff. And I'll give her my advice. Or I'll tell her, don't do that. Or you should do this. Or, you know what I mean? Like, and I think now, as she's 16, she does feel comfortable and, like, able to tell me things. And, like, I'm not saying, like, oh, you're my best friend, you can go do whatever the fuck you want to do. No, I'm still the parent. She's still the child. But we have that understanding that regardless of what she does, she can always come to me and talk to me about it. I'm not going to be mad. I mean, I might be a little mad. Yeah. But she knows that she can come to me and talk to me.
And after the talk?
After the talk, then we have to figure it out.
Yeah. You're never going to leave.
Yeah, I'm never going to leave. I'm not going to kick her out. I might tell her, oh, when you go off to college, your dog's staying here, you know, and then we fight. And she says, no, my dog's going with me. But other than that, like, she's never going to leave. I might not even want her to leave now. Even when she graduates high school and goes off to college. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no, do homeschooling.
Yeah.
But I'm never going to be like, you need to leave.
And so you have Eva.
Yep.
Right. And let me stop it right there. And babe, you're a good parent. You're a good parent. I hear the things that you went through, and like I see the things that what's happened in your life, right? Because long story short, you end up leaving your baby daddy.
Yep.
You go through a life of partying it up and
Yeah, basically getting fucked up, blacking out, get DUI. Yep.
it's wild. Like I'm telling you, like going and listening to these long stories of these people that were addicts and talk about stuff, babe. Like
Growing up, I always told myself if I ever have kids, I wasn't going to be like my mom.
Yeah.
And that's what I always told myself. And I didn't get into drugs because I seen the life that it was.
Yeah.
And yes, I did drink. And yes, I did learn my lesson when I got my DUI. And you can even like agree to that. If we go somewhere, like you drink, I won't drink because I'll drive. You know, but after I got my DUI, like I don't party like that anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a big waste of money, you know, getting DUI, but I learned my lesson. I didn't kill anybody.
Yeah.
Like I didn't get hurt.
And you really didn't come out an addict.
No.
And so
I'm not saying I don't drink. I mean, I do have a few here and there.
yeah.
But like
Here and like
literally
very
here
rare.
and there.
Yeah.
Like, and if it is, it's like one or two. Other than that, it's no. I don't party like I used to.
So long story short, and I'll get to the last question.
Oh, there's a last question?
Okay. Long story short, like you break up with the baby daddy, you party, you went through some healing there.
Yeah.
When you talk about drinking and all this stuff and raising a daughter, living on a couch, raising a daughter at one point, and you build yourself up, and then you meet me, and we go on this journey, right? I love you to death.
Not this easy journey.
Yeah, I
It's
love
not
you.
easy.
I love you to death,
Oh, I love you too.
and I really do, babe. Like,
Are you gonna tuck me in tonight?
and I
Don't cry, dude.
I'm trying. I
my
really
God.
do.
I'm done. I'm
No.
tired of crying.
But like I don't cry. I'm not crying because like I'm sad for you or I'm just like it's
Are those
insane.
happy tears?
Yes, it's insane how much I love you. Right?
Okay.
So my final question.
Okay, go on.
And one day, you know, it's sad
Oh my God,
to
stop crying.
one day we are not going to be in that girl's life. One day we're gonna be gone, right?
Hopefully not anytime soon.
One day we're gonna be gone, and
Okay.
and she's gonna be older, right? And she's gonna have kids, and she's gonna she's gonna talk about her mom.
Okay. She's probably gonna say the same things I say.
No.
My mom yelled at me all the time.
No, she's gonna talk
She does
about
get in trouble a lot though
so
with her attitude.
so she's gonna talk about her mom,
Okay.
right? Like you're strong. Like she loved you to death. The way I talk about my
We fight
mom.
all the time though.
So here's the question:
Okay, go on.
if you could talk to that 35-year-old Eva, okay, like
Oh
you're
my God, why are you
like-
getting so serious?
40-year-old
Jesus.
Eva, because I want her to have this.
Okay, go
Right,
on.
she doesn't understand what we're giving to her when she's older. You know, like this is when I look back at pictures, like I am happy to see my family,
Okay.
but I want to put there like Eva, listen to this on the title, so she sees this. Right,
That was gonna be the title
Yeah.
for this. Okay,
But-
go on.
I want you to really, really do this because this is serious, and it might not mean anything to you right now, but later on in life, it is gonna be a lot to that little girl.
Okay.
So, knowing that everything you went through with her and then what you went through I want you to talk to her.
But I'm not gonna do that right here.
And
I'm not.
babe,
I'm not.
what do you?
I'm not going to.
So what are you gonna do? Tell her in person?
No, I'm not gonna do it on here.
I'm saying like this is.
I'm not. I'm not going to.
It's not gonna get lost. It's gonna be.
It doesn't matter. I'm not going to. This is something I really need to think about. It's not just gonna be off the top of my head to say it to her. But if I do need to say something, it's gonna say, Eva, I love you. Life will be hard, but you will get through it.
Yeah. I love you, girl. I love you, Eva.
This is
And,
cringy.
is it cringy? I don't know.
No, it's not. It's not cringy.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say? Because we might never ever get this on recorded again about you talking to Eva.
I'm not gonna talk about this again, but
No, I'm not talking about your life story.
I know.
I'm saying you being able to record something for Eva. It's gonna be on the internet forever. For you to record something for Eva.
No.
Okay. Thank you guys for listening. What?
Nothing.
What were you gonna say?
Nothing.
What were you gonna say?
Nothing.
You okay?
I just was gonna say thank you, Jesus.
Oh, okay.
Jesus, Jesse.
Thank you guys for listening. Raquel does have a photo booth. After listening to her life story, Raquel has a photo booth. Raquel Diaz Designs photo booth. Hit her up on Raquel Diaz Designs. She can make your own template and for your style of party. She can she has a photo booth set up for her that glows that shines lights and she's able to digitally send it to you, text message, Instagram or email, whatever you guys want. And then if you guys want to if you guys want a copy, like a physical copy of the picture, she has a printer that will be able to print out your pictures right there and then, guys. Go check out her photo booth. DM to see what her bookings are. We're trying to get more weekdays for her. So if you know of any events that are happening for weekdays, let us know.
Even if it's a grand opening too.
Yes, even if it's a grand opening, hit her up. Book her today. I love you guys. Thank you guys for listening. Always, always. Never give up, guys. Never give up. Love you. Peace.